Happy Friday. Welcome back to Tisha Talks Live. If you are tuning in for the first time, my name is Tisha, and I'm so grateful to have you here today. And I have a special treat for you. I have my friend Heinna Reyes, who is from Australia, currently in the Philippines, and she'll be joining us in just a second as we talk about business and operations. But if you are tuning into this live on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn, know you can always drop us a comment. Tell us where you're from, ask a question, do all the fun things, and we will be inviting you to join us in this conversation as we get started. But first, I want to give a big shout out to my sponsor, Gateway Bank. Gateway Bank is a community bank out here in Arizona, and they are a proud sponsor of not only Tisha Talks Live, but also this event that's taken place on August 2nd. Social Connect Phoenix is my very own version of the anti-networking event, and we are going bowling. So if you are interested in meeting some cool connections, want to be with some good people, make those connections, get your bowling on, support a local business, support a local nonprofit, and then this is the place to be August 2nd. You can grab your tickets at that link, bit.ly/Social Connect Phoenix, August 2nd. And also, if you are lending a hand to nonprofits, I am bringing back some Connecting Through community events. So make sure you check in with me this fall as we will be supporting even more local nonprofits and helping them thrive and giving them a hand and all the good stuff. So make sure you tune into that. Well, you know how I like to do it on Fridays. I like to do a little bit of happy dance and get this show started. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to bring in Heinna and we're going to get this show started. So here we go. Yeah, I always forget to do that. That's the thing I need to remember next time is removing that graphic. Well, welcome back, everybody. So grateful for you for joining us. I see some comments coming in. Yay, looks like Mr. Groovy from Los Angeles, and also Bruce, the guy in the blue shirt, joining me from Tempe. So just like Bruce and Mr. Groovy, if you were here, make sure you drop in, say hello, ask us those questions. And without further ado, I'd like to welcome Ms. Heinna Reyes to the Tisha Talks Live platform. Hey, Ms. Heinna Reyes, how are you?
Hello, good. How are you? How's everybody? I see the comments. Hello, everybody, as well that is tuning in. Hello, everybody.
Yeah, everything is good. I mean, how are you? It's like 1 a.m. there where you're at, and you're here from the Philippines.
I know. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I'm here on holiday with my kids, so let's just say it's been a fun ride. First time for them, so they're all learning. We're all learning new things. Let's just say that. So it's really been amazing. I'm so happy to be here. And of course, yeah, it's 1 a.m, but I stay up late anyway, so I feel like this is just a normal thing. But of course, at least I get to talk to people. Not all by myself, just in the computer. But hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? Good to see you so from Los Angeles, Arizona. That's so cool. So yeah, hello.
Hello. And yes, my Filipina sister is in the house. And today we're going to be talking about being an online service provider. And Heinna has a company called OBM Assembly. So online, I'm going to just take a wild guess. That is Online Business Manager Assembly. Yes?
Correct.
Yes. Yay. Yay. I just had to take a wild guess since you sent me your title. And business operations is something that every single business needs. And we're going to jump into that. And I know Bruce, who's tuning in, saying another night bird. I love it. He is also big into simpler, faster, better, and process and operations. And so this is going to be a really great discussion. If you're tuning into this, again, make sure you ask us some questions because you've got the gal on who can tell you all about business operations here. So, hey, so we have a question totally unrelated, Hannah, but he's asking, where in the Philippines are you on vacation right now?
Oh, and Bulacan, so which is like north of Manila. So yeah, a lot of great stuff around here. New things, new area for me. So definitely exploring it around. This is more of the used to be more province area, but upcoming city because Manila's pretty crowded now. So branching out.
Hannah, so Manila was crowded when I was there in like 1998.
Yeah. So imagine where we are. Oh,
No,
it's yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah.
I feel, and Bruce, I'd love for you to chime in, but I felt like I had such anxiety there because I'm like, this place is so crazy nuts. And there's no rhyme or reason to how people are driving. It's just honk
No,
honk in their jeepney.
yeah,
And and it's just like I couldn't ever drive here. There's no
yeah.
rhyme or
There,
reason.
yeah,
There's no stop signs,
yeah.
there's no
Nope,
anything. Even him.
nope.
Manila is a
It's
zoo.
a, it's a, it's a lot better now. They got their operations going, but still need a little bit of work for sure. But definitely improved from the last time here. But it's still crazy. I couldn't drive here. That's for
Oh no,
sure.
no, no. I think
No.
I'm safer walking. Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
actually, that's true. Not on the side of the street, but yeah. I mean, again, it's all about the operation, getting it organized. We're organized
Yes.
here, but not as organized, I should say.
All right. So speaking of
Yeah,
operations, so how did you get into this business of being an online business manager? How does one do
yeah.
that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, like everybody else, not everybody, a lot of people, during the pandemic, things weren't as fun, became redundant, and so I was like, okay, I go back to work, to work, or what do I do? I have, three young children. There was like all of that. So I started off as a virtual assistant, and then really came into like I wanted to do more into where it's just like I started asking my clients things. So I started sounding a little bit more nosy, and they were like, why asking all these questions? And I said, look, like I've worked with, corporate companies, I've worked with executives, and you kind of have to understand what's going on all around to really help you. Then I
Yeah.
got into, of course, my lovely best friend Google, and I was like, online business manager. I was like, that's so me. And that's how it kind of all started and developed. But basically, it's kind of more my OCD plus the experience that I've had with my previous jobs, it all just came together. I said, look, this is what I wanted. This is what I love doing. This is what I thrive into, making sure not just my executives, these were the clients at that time as well, but the team is working out. So as an online business manager, I was like, that's perfect. Because as an online business manager, you're not just put into one thing. It's not just operations. There's so many ways that you can be. You can be hourly, package. You can be all these things, and it's all because of just kind of standing out to what you're good at, starting with what is your genius and what kind of operations manager are you in regards to just for the team, for part, you can be a project manager, wise consultant. So it all kind of works out in that way. And that's kind of how I got into it because I started meeting a lot of clients that I've had or other people's clients that were just kind of asking me questions. And I was like, look, like I can't answer that in one beat. Like I have to really deep dive into your business to understand and help you, from A to Z. So that's kind of how it came in. Started with just me being nosy and then kind of went on. So yeah.
But I think that if you are in a consulting role, like you just mentioned, you have to be nosy. Like
Yeah.
I took a call with a client yesterday and I said, I want you to dive in. Tell me
Yeah.
everything
Yes.
that's working, that's not working, what systems you're using, and let me just
Hmm.
listen. And then I will speak about some things that I have in mind.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
exactly.
I think that being nosy is not a bad thing because
No.
you're there trying to help them be better.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so, yeah,
Because
yeah,
sometimes it might not even be me that can help them, like it could be just somebody, another fellow OBM, or it could just be a little small thing that they just have to tweak. That's just like, you don't need an OBM right now. It's just that this, that one thing you can start off with, and then as depending on your business goals, how big you want to be in your business or how far you want to go with it. That's how it kind of goes. Because some people feel like that's too much, not even financially, but just like how much time you want to invest into
right.
growing your business. And some people are like, I'm not ready for that. And that's totally fine. But there's some
Yeah.
people that are like, I want to go like A to Z, like in the next 6 months. And like, okay, let's do it. But this is how it's, like I'm going to tell you from A to Z. There's going to be still a lot of work, but it'll be nice, especially if businesses that want to business owners that want to just start growing in a different pace or start stepping away from doing the business things, but actually growing their business on the
Mhm.
outside and networking, marketing, or just doing the things that they love rather than, like for me, I am the worst at graphics, and I can say that here live to everybody in the world. I will never ever be a graphic designer, like ever, ever, ever. And
Here,
that's fine.
here, here,
Yeah,
here.
and, yeah, and I have like the worst grammar. So it's just like half of those things. Like if you see misspelling it, that's probably me that made that. But that's what it is, knowing what you're good at. Like, and I'm good more of like getting out there, creating the team and like building the team up. But if you were like, hey, Hina, create a graphic for your team, never gonna happen. Probably not the worst. But knowing that,
Hmm.
makes it better. Like makes it easier on you, and it helps you build your team because the team knows what they need to do. So that's
Right.
where it
Well, and
goes.
it's just, I mean, we talked about this a lot too about you play
Yeah.
to your strengths. So
Hmm.
you already know, Hannah, that you
Mm.
are sucky at graphics, and I
Yeah.
am the same. I'm in the same
Yeah.
boat with you.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you hire someone or you bring in someone even better, that they
Correct.
can take that on. And you don't
Correct.
have to spend your time doing that. You spend your time doing what you absolutely love to do. And
Correct.
I mentioned in the green room that Olenka, my business coach, was on a couple weeks ago, and it was the same thing. She talked about how do you make more money and have more time. Well, the
Yeah.
answer is so simple. It's delegate what you don't want to do, have
Yes.
fun doing the things that you really want to do,
Yes.
and you will see the growth happen.
Yes. 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 That is very true. And you see that a lot in business owners. Like for myself too, like in the beginning, I was like, if people saw the things that I have back here, they would think it's such a hot mess. And that's the thing. When you find a good team though, even though you're a hot mess express, it works because you know what they're going to do and you know what you're good at, and it makes it work better. And that's why I love working with teams or especially business owners that are just kind of, am I ready for a team? Or I don't know, my team's not working out for me. It's just like, well, you really got to go into, are you ready to grow your business? Are you ready for your team? Are you ready for your team to grow? And I think that's the biggest part of it all because that's how a lot of people find it hard to find it for people to help them because it's
Mhm.
just like everybody's just like outsource. That's it. You're like, okay, so what do I outsource? Where do I start with all of that? And I
Yeah.
think people forget. So it's just like as other service providers, it's hard for them to even say like, oh, I'm a graphic designer and this is what I'm going to do because it's
Mhm.
like everybody thinks you need to be able to do everything. It's like no, be good. Like same goes back and forth. A business owner to another business owner. If you're good at the graphic design, you show them I am a service provider and I help with graphic designs, with the marketing part, just matching colors. Like, that's all a whole big thing that not a lot of people think of it until they see like how amazing things look compared
Yeah.
to like what they used to do. And that's me because I used to look at
Right.
things. I was like, I think this looks good, and then like I had my team do one, and I was like, yeah, like my bad. But
It's
yeah,
quite the reality shock. You're like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
so it wasn't very good what I
Yeah,
did.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And as a business owner, when you're ready to be like to let go of things and being like, okay, I'm ready to just not have to deal with that and really focus in, like you said, things that I love, things that I know that I'm good at, things that made my business grow without having and there's only so much you can do by yourself. That you're gonna reach a point where you're just like, oh, I can't do all that. So
Well, but to your point
yeah,
too, so a gal on LinkedIn said this, JC, and she said
yeah,
80% out the door is better than 100% in the drawer. And I will
yeah,
always remember that because,
yeah,
again, we could sit here like, oh my gosh, Hannah, if you would have
yeah.
seen the Tisha Talks graphics before,
Oh,
oh, bless you.
there you go.
I
Sorry.
actually know you fell out of the
Yeah,
chair.
yeah, yeah,
But if you would have seen my graphics when I first started this live show,
yeah,
those were hot mess. But
yeah.
I got it
It
done.
came
It
out.
was fine.
Yeah,
It did it. It worked its purpose.
yeah,
But you're right. When you get to a point where you're like, okay, now I feel like I can delegate. Now I feel
yes,
like I don't need to do this and I can free up my time.
yeah,
Holy cow. Like that's where all the magic happens. We
yeah,
have some comments, right, and some
yeah,
questions for you.
yeah.
So Bruce is asking, do you work with any lifestyle businesses? My definition of this is to grow laterally and not adding additional direct team members. Yeah.
Ooh, what do you? I'm not too quite sure about that. Is that more of like just letting go of everything and then just covering it over? I mean, like not covering. Sorry, that's not the right word. More of like you're letting them do it all, and you're just kind of managing it from like coming in little by little. Is that what I mean? Sorry, I'm not too sure if you're
Yeah,
saying it
it could
correct.
be. So, Bruce, if you want to elaborate
Yeah.
that, but I'm going to take a stab at that too.
Yeah.
So, I do work with several different businesses, solopreneurs, and now even some companies
Oh,
have hired
okay.
me on. And you're right. Like, I think that you just have the set team that you work with. So I do quite a bit of just project management. And
Yeah.
perhaps Bruce, you're doing kind of that process management where you have the different team members that you rely on, and that
Oh, okay. Yeah.
you kind of go together, even though they might not be employees of yours. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. A lot of people that I work with are more independent contractor status, and
Yes.
I prefer that. I don't want to have someone's livelihood in my hands. Of
Yeah.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's mine. I have to go out and do all the sales, biz
Mm.
dev, and all the stuff, and if I don't, like they're gonna suffer. It's
Yeah.
like nope, we all kind of fend for ourselves, but you're part of this team, and there's some responsibility and things I'm going to rely on you
Yeah.
for.
And it also kind of depends also on each project. Like
Right.
some businesses that I've worked with, they need more, like let's say websites. So
Mhm.
like we're going to focus a lot on that and like what will go all around of that. But I'm not going to be able, not every client that I have will need to
Right.
focus on that one thing. So it all kind of depends. It
Yeah.
depends on how you, again, like you said, I don't want direct employees as well, like especially in my business as of now. However, maybe later on, but as of right now, I prefer, because again, each project's a little bit different. I think
Hmm.
once I get into more into like group coaching and different things, I may need somebody that knows. Okay, they know that this is going to be. I'll have them more, I should, permanent. But it all depends. It really all depends on, again, how your business. That's why there's no one answer for everything. Like I have to
Right.
deep dive into your business. Like, what is it? What is it that your goals? Because if your goal is one way, then I can give you a different goal. It's not a one
Hmm.
stop shop. I know there's a lot of people want that.
Yeah.
Especially in the online world, because like, oh, fix my problems in my business, and I'm just like, oh, I need to know your problems first.
Yeah.
I need to understand. So yeah,
Yeah. It's such a good, like we were talking about earlier, like a deep dive into being nosy and
yeah,
talking
yeah,
to
yeah,
your
yeah,
client first of,
yeah,
hey, I want to understand where
yeah,
you're struggling and let me
yeah.
figure out the strategy and the solution for you.
Correct.
And
Yeah,
then, like I just did this yesterday, and then let me pull in the right resources, teams
correct,
that I need in order to
correct.
make this work. And as you said,
Yeah.
every client is not the same. Every client could be, I need this, but I don't need this. And
Yeah,
so
correct.
it's kind of more of a customized approach. Okay,
Yeah.
Bruce, I'll get to you in just a second, but here's another question from Royce. Hey, Royce, good to see you. Royce is out here also in Arizona. What's the number
Hello.
one challenge you see most people facing? That's a great question.
Yeah.
What are some
Yeah, yeah.
challenges that businesses face?
I think especially more when as an entrepreneur, when you're starting off by yourself, is being able to trust others with your business. Because
Mhm.
you're already trying to be like, am I doing this right, or is this the right way to do things? And when you give it to others, that's the biggest thing. Operations wise, I should say. Like, I mean, in life,
Mhm.
there's a lot of things people are facing, but I'm just saying, operations coming in and starting to with the new team, it's hard. It's hard to trust people because that's your baby. Like you don't just give your newborn and like, here you go. Hope they work well with you. Bottle
Yeah,
feed them, but your business is a big thing, and I think that's what it is trusting the right people because it's hard. It's hard to
yeah,
just let go of these things, but I think once you, like I was saying earlier, knowing what you need, knowing where you're coming in from, where you are in your business, it'll help you a lot better because you can start with just a team of one of just helping you with your graphics. Like for me, that could be just the first start with
hmm,
having that relief that I didn't have to think about that. I
hmm,
was like, oh my goodness, I can do anything now because I'm not stressing over like, did I spell that right? Did that look right?
yeah,
I'm taking my time and my energy and my space to a different direction where I can grow my business, rather than thinking of that, like, again, did I spell that correctly? So, yeah, yeah,
you're not dealing with like the petty things. They're
yeah, yeah,
important, but
yeah,
they're not, what you need to be doing. Okay, so
yeah.
Bruce did get back to us. He said, yes, stay solo, but grow using fractional resources and use technology to enable saving time and creating a wider reach than just locally. So trying to expand his business outside too. Also not trying to find more of me. So no cloning of Bruce, but for me to lead the growth with Wise. Does this help? Yeah.
I think that's what, like you had mentioned, is just having the right, people in your network and being like, okay,
Mhm.
I may need you this month, I may need you this for this project, but I think that's the best way. You're not doubling yourself, you're just helping yourself with having resources around you. that can help you ease the work, ease the, make things go faster. But I think that'd be the best way. Just build a network that, you can trust those people and say, hey, I know somebody needs website. I know who to go to. Even
Right.
yeah. So that's how it works. Even just a type of website. Is it kind of like, are you going to use Wix? Are you going to use this? Are you going to use that? Having
Mhm.
that type of network as well helps a lot. You're not doubling yourself. You're just being resourceful.
Well, and let's talk about this because Bruce also put up this great comment about yes, great point. Trust is key to maintain the standards you really desire to uphold, no matter what.
So,
So, like you and Hannah, you and I met around COVID. I'm pretty sure that
yeah.
was around
Yeah.
the time we
Yeah.
were talking, where my
Correct.
business
Yeah.
was also in a fluctuation
Yeah.
of I can't do live events, I can't do speaking. What am I going to do? And
Yeah.
I'll tell you something. And for people watching, people, your clients really love a process, B, that you're bringing the trustworthy resources. So if
Correct.
these are people that you trust to do the project,
Yeah.
then they feel so much more at ease because
Yeah.
they're walking into this with their hand held. They don't have to find all the solutions. You're there as their guide, right?
Correct.
And
Correct.
so
Correct.
trust is a big thing. And I asked clients about all of these things. That's what they've said. There was a process, and I didn't need to go find the trustworthy resources. So to your point, Bruce, you going in and finding the people that you need. And I always say
Yeah.
double up, double up. Have a couple of different designers,
Yeah.
have a couple of web developers, especially if
Yeah.
they're independent contractors, because they might be working on other projects and might not have time for your project that you need with a client. So I'm always
Correct.
like, have 2 or 3 vetted resources that you're like, okay, she's busy, but I know my next go to
Yeah.
of asking to do copywriting,
Yeah.
things like that. So I always say, if you can build your network, just like Hannah is saying, that's where your business is really going to thrive, because now people come to you expecting that you know exactly what the answer is, you know how to guide them, you know how to grow it, you know how to create their operations and their systems, and they put their trust in you.
Correct, correct, exactly. I mean, it's just kind of like trying to find the right person to fix your car. That's
Yeah.
you live in your car. It's for safety. It's for the right regulations and all that stuff. So finding the
Yeah.
right mechanic, you go into. It's kind of like if you have AAA. You only go with the AAA people because you want to make sure. I don't know if everybody knows AAA, but you kind of go with the vetted mechanics because you know that they're trusted and they're certified and all that stuff. So that's the same thing you'd want in your business as well.
Yeah. And Bruce throwing up another comment here. Hannah, thank you for the reinforcement of the strategy in case of my version of a lifestyle biz, not a vertical growth biz.
Yeah.
Um, and lifestyle biz, I mean, I think it's what do you want your life to look like? And
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to grow wide? And it sounds like that's what Bruce is looking for, and really just having his time back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, good. Okay, so I want to ask you this, like, why do you feel it's essential that business owners have an OBM? Why do they need this online business management?
I think the biggest form for me is because I feel like every executive, just again, just an example, every executive has a EA or a PA, right? And it's exactly the same thing. I'm not saying it's just EA or just PA or operations manager. It's because when you go and ask an executive, what does your day look like today? They would have no idea. But their
Yeah.
EA would, their PA would. They'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
everything's organized in my calendar. And that's what I try to tell everybody how it is because you're an executive, you're dealing with the bigger picture of certain things, I guess, of how business are run. You meet with people, you don't know what your day looks like, but you know that you have your EA or peer in the back that you can lean on and be like, you know, hey, now, what is my day looking like today? You hear that all the time in movies. You hear that in, if you've ever worked in corporate, you hear that because that's where the root of comes in from. Is it's kind of like where OBNs are the neck. We turn our clients to where they need to go, but we need to understand, how can we support them? Like doing what kind of neck brace and all that stuff. But as an online business manager, the best part of it is you're online. You don't have to sit with everybody and I guess you say physically and all of that. And you have somebody that's turning your neck back and forth, and you don't have to think about it because you are just the face of it and a
Yeah.
face of the business. And especially as an entrepreneurs, of as a solo, you start as a solopreneur, you build trust with people, and the fact that when you start growing, you cannot do it all. all at
Yeah.
one time, I should say.
Right.
And being able to grow that with somebody that knows your business from the beginning to the end, A to Z, and knows your goals and know how you work and know who to respond to, who not to respond to, is such a great feeling because you have that backbone. You have
Yeah.
that structure. And so that's how I try to think of it because I came in from the corporate world like, all my executives, they were like, sorry, no, what am I going to do today? And I'm like, here's the lists and this is our goal. And, and we all know everybody, you don't really go to the executive for a favor. You go to their EA, their PA, because they're the
Hmm.
ones who knows what's going on. So
Right.
overall, I think especially in the online world, as service providers, we don't do just one thing. And for us to stand out, it's really just knowing what you're good at, knowing what, kind of clients you want to be working with. And I think like even had, Bruce had said, like, see, if I didn't know that's the kind of way he wants to do his business, I could have recommended him 20 million things. But
Hmm.
as his OBMs, I would know, okay, Bruce, this is what we're gonna do, this is how it's gonna be, and you would feel more comfortable. It's kind of just having a partner in life in common. You
Yeah.
just gotta just, you do it together. It's a lot easier. So
Oh, right.
yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Good
yeah.
stuff. All right. So I know we are winding down on time and it's 11:11. So make a wish, Hannah.
Ah, I love it. Actually, I love angel numbers. But yeah, anyway, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know Mr. Groovy's saying great information. Thank
Oh,
you. And I want to give a
you.
shout out to Rachel Osterman and Paul Newberger on Facebook who gave us some love and some likes. So
Hello.
thank you for being on with us and tuning in. And so I know that you have a service that you offer. You're getting ready to
Yeah,
relaunch. It's a business fixer service. I love that.
yeah,
So tell us a little bit about what that entails, and if
yeah,
somebody was interested, how would they reach
yeah.
out to you, Hannah?
So basically,
That's
the
it.
business, yeah. So basically, the business fixer, I come in and I fix your business. It's mainly just a week of me coming in to work out with you and your team or potential team how you'd work your day to day because each day, piles up, each day comes out. So it's a five. It's really about 2 weeks, I would say, even a month of just going to your business, looking through it, go through your systems, how your goals, your team's goals, what your team knows. Especially if you have a team, I will talk to your team and understand what they know and need because like I said you go into the team and say hey what is it that's going on because they know exactly what's going on day to day. So I really go into and deep dive into that. You have a week with me personally and me and a team member that will help you just kind of clean up everything, fix the things
Mhm.
in your business, and really reach your goal within. Depending, I already work out with 6 months to 1 year goals, but it all just kind of depends on the business itself. So I really come in and deep dive. I get real nosy, we get real personal, because in the end, really just you have to understand even what the client's going through personally. We deep dive in that, like, hey, the next 6 months, are you going to get married? Are you going to do this? How are we going to reach your goals? We have to understand that. And so, as the business fixer, I really deep dive in there. And I think now, with everything that's going on, we just went from regular pandemic and now back to regular. And so, coming in and kind of fixing things up really helps. Everybody needs a good spring cleaning, and I come in and do
Mhm.
that for you. So, especially normally in your operations and your team, because that's what I love doing is businesses with teams, because you know we work it
Mhm.
all out together.
Well, and I think it's
Yeah,
it's good because you're taking, like you said, you're doing that deep dive. You're
yeah,
meeting with not just the executive, but you're meeting with the team because
correct,
they're an
correct.
essential part of that
Yeah,
business too.
yeah,
So being able to sit with them, talk
yeah,
about the company, the culture, what their goals are, what their strengths are, so that you can effectively manage as an
everything.
online business
Well,
manager. I
thank
mean,
you.
it just
Yeah.
makes such perfect sense.
Yeah, thank you. And if just to reach out to me, just message me, DM me on, on my all my socials at OBM Assembly or just Heinna Reyes, on my Facebook or LinkedIn. I'm pretty approachable. I think I really just love to talk, because I need to understand. And everybody's like, click on this and this. No, it's just like DM me, say, hey, got a question. We'll love to talk about it because that's the fastest and easiest way for us to get started. To be honest.
Exactly. Do you just work with companies? Well, being online, you can
Yeah.
work with companies
Yeah.
all over the world, I'm assuming. But what's your focus right now, Hannah? Are you trying to focus on more Australian businesses or?
Morely, just more on the Australian side.
Okay.
But because, because I am, grew up in California. I would love to expand in the other side of the world, but I am starting off in more on this side of the world, just more of the time zone, but mainly, if anything, more in Australia.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
And I knew it, Bruce. I knew you were going to drop that line. So
yeah,
Bruce is like the process fixer, and
yeah.
he's a name given by Anthony Garone. His business is all
Oh,
about process cleanup. So
oh,
I really do. I think you two, if you haven't connected yet, should really
yeah,
connect because you have
yeah,
a lot of um, common threads of how you work
yeah,
businesses. And I
yeah,
believe Bruce is the same thing where he goes in and is like, show me everything, leave no
yeah,
stone
yeah,
unturned, let
yeah,
me
yeah,
see it
yeah,
all.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
then my other client, Adam, same way. He's like, I love this stuff. I
yeah.
love being able to go into a company and fix it because and I mean, I know I could sit with a company for an hour and be like, why do you do it that way?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, let's make life easier for the both of us. Let's do this. So yeah.
Well, I mean, like one thing yesterday, I was talking to a new client and he's like, I have all of these different databases and all these different systems. I'm like, would it make more sense if we used one and we just import all the things into one? And he's like, oh,
Oh,
yes. I'm like,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Yeah, somebody just needs to tell you. And we're here to tell you, to tell them, say, look, let us tell you what's going on.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well, and
yeah,
I would expect the same from someone coming to me, business
yeah,
coach, business mentor, and trust me, I've had a lot of those in your face. Tisha, I
yeah,
can't believe
yeah,
that. You should do
yeah.
this. I mean, we all need that nudge and that tough
Mm-hmm.
love.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah,
I so appreciate that. I don't want to
yeah,
be going through life with like, shades on
yeah.
and going, okay, everything is fine and dandy when there's
When
really
it's
some
not.
underlying
Yeah,
problems.
exactly. No, exactly. And I love coaches like that too. I'm just like, tell me, like, slap me in the face with reality. Be like, how do I fix this? I need
Yeah.
this done now. And that's what, like, I would love for that somebody to do that for me. I've had, coaches do that, and I'd love to do that to others. And a nice slap, not like an actual slap. You know.
Not a punch, not a
No,
punch,
not a
just
punch. Yeah, I don't want.
a
Yeah,
nice gentle slap, a
I
nice
don't want
gentle
that.
slap.
I don't want that. I don't want to get that quote and everybody. That girl slaps her clients. It's like, no, 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 no,
You
no.
don't
I'm
want
telling.
that brand. You don't want
Yeah,
that
no, no,
brand?
no, 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 no. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what it's all about. Just understanding, like going into a deep diving. Like I love that you understand that because people are like, you could just follow the steps. I'm like, no, you need to understand the first step before you go to the next step. So
I
yeah,
agree. Everything, I mean, we could
yeah,
talk about this for days. Everything is
yeah,
process.
correct.
Everything is
Yeah,
building blocks. Everything
yeah,
is, we can't go here if we don't know this yet.
yeah,
So
correct.
back it
Yeah,
up, back it
yeah,
down,
exactly.
figure it
Yeah,
out, go
yeah,
back to
yeah.
basics.
Yes, yes,
Go
I
back
love
to
saying that.
basics. Why did you
Yeah,
create this? What are the
yeah,
goals? What was your
yeah,
vision in the first place? And let's
yeah,
see if
yeah, yeah.
we can figure out the strategy to get us
Yeah,
there.
exactly. And it's always nice to have somebody else because when you are more emotionally invested in things, it's harder to see the
Yeah,
bigger picture.
it
So just
is.
having somebody that knows and understands, it's a lot nice, and that you trust. It's nice to be like, oh, you're right, because I'm sure if your client was just stepped back and was like, oh, I should probably put all these systems together, he would have figured it out himself. But because when you're invested, I don't want to do all these. It's hard to see that, but coming from you and they trust
Yeah.
you, they're like, oh my god, like why didn't I think of that?
Well, and here's
Yeah,
where you come in because they're like,
yeah,
oh, I should have thought about that. But since
yeah,
you're here,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
can take it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Right, exactly,
Well, there you go.
exactly.
Match made in heaven. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like Bruce has sent you a connection request already.
Yes, yes,
And yes, one place communication is always the best thing.
yeah, yeah.
Prevents mistakes, saves time, saves sanity, all the good stuff.
Perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
Hannah, I know it's so late. I'm sure you're like, the bed is calling my name since it's so super early
Yeah,
there
yeah,
for
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I just want to say
yeah.
thank you for being on with me at this crazy,
Oh
crazy
yeah. No,
hour.
no, yeah. I'm
And
glad to be here. Thank you, thank you.
yeah, just being a part of Tisha Talks Live. So I have one more guest. He's coming on June 30th. Robert Quick Bostick is my good friend in the Bay Area. So he will be coming in and talking about humor and humor for business. I've had him on in the past, and I just adore this guy. I met him in real life. I'm getting ready to meet him again when
Nice.
I go up to the Bay Area in July.
Yeah.
And then I will be taking a break. So everybody watching Tisha Talks Live, I'm taking a break in July just so I can do some traveling and really be with my kiddos before
Yeah.
they go back to school.
Oh my
And then
God.
we'll be
Yeah.
resuming back in August.
Oh,
So
good.
stay tuned for the next one, June 30th with Robert. And like I said, we'll be back after the summer. And Heinna, again, safe travels back to Australia. I cannot wait to
Thank
meet you in
you.
person. You know,
Yeah.
Bruce was just in Sydney not too long
Oh,
ago.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. I might go back to California next year for sure. I just don't
Okay.
know when. Yeah, because I was there for about a month or so at the beginning of the year. Yeah, those are the time zones. I'm just like everywhere.
Oh,
Uh,
you are. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, Bay Area. I would love to hear that. I'm from the Bay Area, so I want to hear about this guest of yours. So can't wait to hear and see.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
I'm
Yeah.
actually meeting up with a couple of Bay Area people that you might know. Junette Coloroso is also another Filipina sister, and
Oh,
Stephen Liu is going to be there, and Robert. And
great.
I'm not sure. I'm telling Junette, you plan it. I just show up.
You're like, I'm here. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Very
yeah.
cool. Well, good to see everybody in the comments. And
Yes,
if you're
yes.
watching the replay for this, absolutely reach out to Hannah. She's on LinkedIn, as you saw, also on Instagram and Facebook, and is more than happy to answer any questions about operations, online business management, the services she provides, business fixer service, and so forth. So, cheers. And we will catch you guys back. Have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see
Everybody.
you June 30th. Have a
Yeah,
great one,
see
everyone.
you. See you. Bye.